It's time for the type of energy only Darren McCarty and Neil Rule can give. It's time for Big D Energy, live on Woodward Sports. Join four-time Stanley Cup champion and legendary badass Darren McCarty and the golden voice of Neil Rule, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The number one midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neil Rule. That is my friend, Sean Belesian. Sean?
Why am I here? Why?
Sean?
Like, seriously, no, Neil, like, love the guys at Feldman. My daughter got her car here. Love you, love Stick, love everybody at Woodward. Why am I here? Do you think I want to do this today?
Well, at least it's warm out.
I don't want to do this today.
Well, Sean, we have to. You got to be an adult, and you have to do it, okay? You got to be an adult. You got to walk out there.
I'm a bitch.
Yeah. That's a theme that we're going to talk about. That's a theme that we're going to talk about. As you said, we're live here at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's number one Chevrolet dealer, the nation's number one EV dealer. Talking with their management, the Silverados. They said they have 14 2024 all-wheel drive EV Blazers left. 14. And they'll cut you a deal to move them off the lot. That's the way it works. The previous year's models, you can get a little sugar on that. But come on out here, see Tim Brown, not the Heisman Trophy winner, my salesman that sold me my EV here. No, but happy to have you all with us. And here they are. Woodward Sports Chat Thread. Anthony W. Hail to the Commanders. And shout out, too, to all the Commanders fans that are involved.
Can I say this?
Yes.
And this was a lesson. Do you know why I am here today? I am here for our Viking friends. I'm serious. This is what you call taking your medicine. We're going to take our medicine today. We have no choice. We're not going to hide. We're going to take our medicine. We're going to own it, and we're going to move on with our day. So this is like one of those teachable moments for you Viking fans who, my gosh, Neil, honestly, I thought the pestilence and famine that I wished upon Viking Nation, I thought it actually took hold because I didn't hear from any of them.
Weird.
For like a week. It was incredible how that worked out. And then all of a sudden they all kind of came back out on Saturday night.
Yeah, really weird.
So guys, have your fun at our expense. It's still kind of weird. We broke you, but okay, have some fun at our expense.
Not the Vikings fans.
This is what you call ownership. This is what you call, we're owning it. We're here taking our medicine.
Stick, I was going to do it as a joke.
Oh, boy.
I was going to send you the text, holiday.
Holiday.
But no, only Michigan people do that. But anyway, though, here we are, though. We're ready to rock. And as you said, we're here to take it. Tadon, frauds exposed. Okay?
All right.
Neil.
Come on, you got to do better than that, man. Come on.
No, but we are going to do it. And by the way, speaking of the Commanders, shout out to the Sports Junkies in D.C. I was on their show this morning. They were cool dudes, quality dudes, and we had a good discussion about it. And they asked me, they said, so we have to know, like, what's your take on the Commanders-Eagles game? And I was like, hey, the bottom line is, if you're going to give up 200 yards of rushing again, because that was the thing, the Commanders. And by the way, shout out Commanders fans. They were commenting on family photos on Instagram. They mobilized.
Isn't that nice? Good for them.
Yeah, they
nice?
mobilized. But no, it's all in good fun. Jump in the chat, by the way. Get your thoughts out there in the super chat. You want to jump the line like Owen Mullen? There's going to be a lot of that today.
Yeah.
A lot of jumping the line, I would imagine. Owen Mullen. For all the Goff hater logic, so should the Ravens get Lamar then? He threw an interception, had a fumble that cost them the game.
Yep, Lamar Jackson's washed.
Absolutely. Mark Andrews, get him out of town.
All
second
bad.
Fumble in his career. Very bad time
John Harbaugh,
for it.
just not a good coach.
Well, clearly washed. Salty pork chops. You address this one. Sean looks depressed.
I am. I'm miserable.
Sean is depressed.
I'm miserable. I'm not. Listen, you guys, I'm not being funny. I didn't watch football yesterday. And Stick gave me a hassle. I zero regrets. You know what my day was? Is, like, honestly, there was some basketball on. Michigan State got a nice win. Then Wedding Crashers was on. I've only seen it 587 times, so I made it 588 yesterday. And then I watched hockey. Now, that's not to say that I didn't follow. I was following, there are these things called smartphones. They're very intelligent. I followed the games I didn't want to watch. Neil, honestly, I think this is one thing that maybe the younger generation, they can't relate to guys like Stick and you and me. I've been through this way too many times, man. I don't want to hear about next year. I don't want to talk about
Later
next
in the
year.
week we will.
Right.
Yeah.
Can we avoid that today? It sucks, but Neil, I know we'll get to it at some point in time. I am convinced, whether you guys want to admit it or not, I am convinced that a lot of Lion fans knew but didn't want to know. I'm convinced. And we'll get into that later on in the show. We did a nickel package about a month ago, and by all means, I don't want one person out there to think that I'm taking a victory lap and saying I was right or anything like that. But we did a nickel package about a month ago where the question was posed. And whatever. I don't know. It sucks. It does. It sucks. I'm not being funny. The worst part is, Neil, is you and I delved into territory that we shouldn't have delved into. I think you know it as well as I do.
I know. I know exactly
of
what you're talking
you're
about.
going to do and what it means and who you're going to talk to and who you're going to call and doing a dance on your grandfather's grave and all that stuff. And you know, you start to think about things like that, and it sucks. But you own it. Here I am. You own it.
Sean, Spenmo, our producer, came up with this show sheet of ideas and who do you blame most and all that kind of stuff.
You know who he blames.
No, I know. Because there was a segment of the popular, and I told you guys this, and none of you believed me. Underneath the surface of Lions fandom, there was a segment of fans that were waiting on that moment.
The swamp.
And that's fine. That's fine.
Swamp!
But instead, Sean,
What they do, they lurk in the swamp, Sean.
waiting for the sun to come back out.
Mm-hmm.
There's 7 segments in this show. There happens to be 7 stages of grief.
It's amazing how that works out.
So
It's incredible, Neil.
this is the theme of the show. This is the first segment.
All right.
Stage number 1, shock. Talk about the shock, Sean.
All right, for me personally, and I see Stick 10 feet away from me, and I don't want him to misconstrue, so that's why I'm saying this. I knew what the defense was. We knew what the defense was, okay? We knew that this might be troublesome, okay? What we didn't know was what the offense was going to do. And if you put that on Jared Goff, you're not paying attention. You do. You're not paying attention. I thought control the ball, run on a team that can be run on, keep the ball out of their quarterback's hand. There were so many quizzical things about that game. Even, Neil, I thought the game was following the script. When we were
100%.
like literally, we were this close to taking the game like this. You score a touchdown at 14-3, okay? All of a sudden, everything that you and I talk about, that honest to God, people don't get it. All of a sudden, everything is in motion. Mm-hmm. They have to play catch up. You have all the answers. The empty look on the 3rd and 1 and the fumble that followed, you can't put a price tag on that. That is not a Jared Goff thing. I think that's a personnel thing. I think the unquestionable Ben Johnson has to be questioned quite a bit today. And that's where my shock comes from. We knew what the defense was. We all knew. With all the injuries, we knew what the defense was. I didn't think that we'd see the offense do some of the quizzical things that it did all game.
No, and
it
that
started
is it.
there. It started
and that was shocking.
on that play.
There's the shock.
I
Great.
was shocked.
Great way to play along.
I was shocked.
Way to play along. No, and that is the moment, too. And, look, I sent out kind of a screenshot of the play that you're talking about. And that's what was so stunning about it. As you said, see, people forget this, too. For as bad as, quote-unquote, the defense was, they did the job in the first quarter plus of that game.
100%.
Got to stop on 4th down. Got off the field, 7-3, 3rd and 1. I'm like, cool. They're bringing Montgomery in, 2 cracks of Montgomery. He'll get a yard. And in 2 opportunities, he'll get a yard, no doubt. And then I see him split out wide. And I was like, uh-oh. Then I was like, okay, even if the pass is incomplete or whatever, it's 4th and 1, 1.5, 2, whatever it is. You punch it up and you go for it anyway. And then Glasgow got destroyed on that play. Glasgow was beat. I have a screenshot of it. Glasgow was beat. The receivers weren't even 1.5 yards, 2 yards max off the line. And then, because he got beat, Goff had to step up to right where Ragnow got beat too, which he did. And look, Mark Andrews, Lamar style. Oh, cut Ragnow. Obviously, he's terrible. No, like, he got beat on that play. They drive Mercedes too, man.
Dan Campbell actually addressed that specific play during his press conference this morning. He's like, it's a play we call 50X. We've run it 100 times. That was just a perfect storm. And that's what happened. It was a perfect storm. But I'm with you. You don't take out the threat of the run at 3rd and 1.
But the moral of the story is it lends to the quote-unquote shock. We're in stage 1 of the grieving process right here. At 11:15, we'll get to stage 2.
They were so close. Do you understand? You score a touchdown there, Neil. That is a completely different game. A completely different game. And that, I use this line, Neil, whether we want the Commanders out-lion the Lions. They hit the fourths. They created tempo. They put the pressure on us. They did the things that made the Lions such a success this year. And I give them full marks for that.
100%.
Take nothing away. The Commanders came in and made no mistake about it.
Jester Crew in the Super Chat for 4 months. The Lions I've suffered with for 39 years were a hell of a lot of fun to watch. One-ish day in a game that mattered changes nothing. Congrats to Washington. Still stoked, not scared. And Jester, like, look, I'm going to get there with you. Today's not the day to get there with you. Jason Kenyon in the Super Chat. This was a failure, not getting to the next step. Season was amazing, improved to 15 wins. Record broken as a team and individually. 16-plus on IR. It was actually 23 at one point. Still getting this far. One pride, ride or die. And it's I like to see that. I do. I like to see that.
I'm going to say this again, and at least you guys have to give me credit for being consistent. One of my most hated things in sports, Neil, and this is something that's happened in recent years, I think, with social media, is the moving of the goalposts, right?
Right.
If we're all going to say in unison that the goal was to win the Super Bowl this year, we cannot sit here and pontificate about what a glorious year
and that's where I am.
I'm not doing that.
There is no shock to that. This was it the whole time. And the Commanders are going through this year now what we went through last year. And I said this when I was on DC radio this morning. I said, Commanders fans, enjoy it. You know, you got a little foul money a little bit. You're in the NFC Championship game. You got a rookie quarterback. Daniels would be, the first rookie to go to the Super Bowl since Dan Marino?
Isn't that crazy?
It is absolutely crazy. So even in above all that, but next year, the story changes, right? Because if you go to the NFC Championship game, then you expect to go to the Super Bowl. That's just the way that it is.
Marino was second year, wasn't he? I think he was second year.
Was he second year?
Yeah, I think it was 83 draft, and they went in 84. But point remains.
So you get the point.
Yeah.
Second year guy.
Woodley?
All right, let's address this one. Zach in the Super Chat. The Commanders fans are out. Apologize for calling for Jayden's head. You said he would go to the blue tent, and if a penalty was needed to do it, too bad it was Goff that was in the tent, and too bad we didn't get the penalty for it either.
Yeah.
But, Zach, I'll say this, and again, I said this morning too in D.C. That was creative clipping by the Commanders people.
1,000%.
You were here. We were talking about Magic Johnson, part owner of the Commanders. When he said that about his friend Isaiah Thomas, when he put him in the ground in the finals, he said, if I got to put him in the ground, it's just that way now. That was my exact quote. It's just that way now.
I can't tell you how many times somebody threw that my way, Neil, and I think it's very depressing that so many people just felt the need to take that out of context and be a bitch about that. Like, seriously, on your behalf, I mean that. That was look, you know what he was saying. Like, knock it off. Neil's not going to wish ill will on anybody, man.
I
Knock
will.
it off.
Stick will, yeah.
I won't say that about Stick, but
Man, Sean, you've been forced into that corner a lot this year. Like, Vikings fans, I'm not your enemy. Neil is. Neil won't say those things. Stick will.
No, and you know what? But it to me, this is what people have to be like little drama queens. Like, you the guy said it. Well, I guess you'd have a point if he said it, but he didn't say it. But if it makes you feel better, suck on your thumb and have a great day.
Okay, before we get to stage 2 of the 7 stages of grief,
On the second zone else.
Abin Kumar in the chat. I just want to address this real quick. And if people want to continue to bring it up, I want you guys to record this and play it back.
Okay.
Abin Kumar says, I don't think Goff is the answer. In today's NFL, you need a mobile QB. All the elite teams have one. Goff cracks when he's in the pocket, and one mistake becomes many after. No one cares about the regular season. When the spotlight is on, you got to perform. So, like Lamar Jackson, you're saying. Like the most mobile QB in the QB game. Like Lamar Jackson, you're saying. Because where is he? Where's he? There can only be one, Sean. There can only be one. So just stop, because that's dumb shit. That's a stupid comment by you when the data's staring you right in the face, because 24 hours later, the mobilest of mobile QBs is home for vacation too. So stop with that.
That's what pisses me off about this. And you have to remember what side of the fence I'm on, Neil. I was a guy that a few years ago, and I backed it up factually, this was a guy that looked like he was wrecked. It looked like he was broken. He was a turnover machine, and he got it back. And I have an issue. If somebody looks bad, say he looks bad. If somebody looks good, you better change your tune and say, wow, I didn't see that coming. And I'm one of them. I'm a convert, okay? Here's the worst part about today for me, Neil, is while I don't agree with him, how can I say he's wrong? And that's what sucks the most. While I don't agree with the people that go to SOL, I don't agree with it at all. This is something completely different, okay? How can I say you're wrong? That's what pisses me off the most about today. I have to shut my mouth, and I'm with you. I disagree 1,000% with what he said. I cannot stress that enough. But at the same time, how can I cite, look what Jared Goff just did. He brought Detroit a Super Bowl. I can't say he's wrong. How do I know that Jared Goff is the guy to do it? I don't. Do I think he is? Yes, I do. Yes, I really, truly do. But I can't say he's wrong today, and that's the kind of crap.
You can say
shit. Can I say that at Feldman?
Yeah, shit.
That's the kind of shit.
Flannel was yelling about sucking things earlier.
That's the kind of shit that pisses me off. Is you have people like that. Yeah, you can't. You can disagree with them, but you can't quote unquote say they're wrong, and that pisses me.
Burn in the super chat before we ride off to the break, and this reflects the views of me. I'll sign off on it. Burn, rough, but welcome to the real NFL. I've arrived at acceptance. We're getting through the 7 stages here, everybody.
Thank you, Burn.
One seeds get beat, it happens, but it sucks that we failed the mission. This wasn't our last crack at the can. We aren't going anywhere. And we'll talk about the future for sure. We certainly will. Christopher Evans, I blame the strength and conditioning coach, 18-plus players on IR. Christopher.
Come on, dog.
They had double the next team. Almost double the next team. What I'm not going to tolerate is that dumb shit right there. Yeah. We'll get to that with the anger.
They have no control over who gets injured and when.
All right, we're way late for the break.
Dr. Pierce, tell us about Dr. Pierce.
I will, as a matter of fact. Dr. Pierce is our injury insider. He appears with us every Tuesday on Big D Energy. Tomorrow, as a matter of fact, Thursdays with Ermanni and Edwards. And guess what? We talk about the breaking sports injury news. But if you're a weekend warrior, like myself, like Spencer Raxter, if you're in the workout game, if you're playing rec league sports, you're over 40, you got that nagging soreness and everything, he can help get you right. You know how I know that? He helped save Darren McCarty's career, as a matter of fact. Ask D-Mac, he'll tell you. So again, go where the pros went. Trust who the pros trusted, and that is Dr. Jeff Pierce, right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Sean Belesian in for DMAC. We got Stick, we got KG here.
What's the second stage?
In the building. It's 7-segment show. We're doing the 7 stages of grief in order. Number 2, denial. Number 2 is denial.
I'm between 1 and 3 still.
Gerald Doherty can't believe he won't take ownership of the blue tent comment. I saw the video. He said what he said.
God.
Dude.
And Donald
Knock
Trump
it.
said very fine people, right?
Knock
Idiot.
knock it off. That wasn't the context at all. Watch the full video.
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste my time sending you the full video. I sat next to him. I know exactly what he said. Knock it off, man. Congratulations. Now stop being a bitch. You're going to play for the NFC Championship.
Doesn't matter what you say. It's what they hear.
40.
I can tell it to you. I can't explain it to you.
All right, take care, fella.
Thank you.
Take care,
I appreciate
Kool-Aid.
the hug.
40 Gumbel. Neil, just wanted to give a shout out to all the Commanders fans who are giving your show clicks and engagement. Great to see you under their skin. LOL. I mean, I don't know. I'm just sitting here talking, man. I'm like you guys. The denial. All right, stage 2, second segment of the show. Denial. And Sean, when the denial hit me was when we walked out. And shout out Gillies, by the way. The watch party was incredible. Stick told me it was record-breaking for the station. And we knew it would be, right? We absolutely knew it would be. People at Gillies were awesome. Get that spot. You can go to second best and you can go to Gillies. And that, make that your pregame routine. Denial. When I walked out of Gillies, which is just literally 2 blocks from Ford Field, and that vibe and just a mass of humanity walking out there, there was a whole lot of denial going on, Sean. I mean, this morning you waver through the stages. I don't think it's like a concrete staircase.
No, they tell you that in therapy.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm still fucked up.
No, you don't go through
I'm
these
over
in
here
order.
like it just happened.
You're at
Like,
depression. Next thing you know, you're back in shock, Neil.
all right.
Denial. I can't believe this is over.
This is where I said we all knew, but we didn't want to know. And only you guys can answer that question, and even the guys that I work with. We did a nickel package, and I don't want one person out there to think this is some kind of victory lap, okay, because it's not. But we did a nickel package right before Christmas, and I forget exactly what the question was, but it was something along the lines, can the Lions win a Super Bowl with this defense? And I said no. And I said no. And it was funny because KG, one of the nicest guys on earth,
Oh, thank you.
fired me this look that if he had 2 laser-guided missiles in his eyes, I'm done. He's Mega Godzilla or something. He's firing missiles at me. And you guys, we're smarter than that. We knew. And I think we've been in denial longer than any of us want to admit. I really truly believe that. Was it enough
you're
to
right.
Was it enough to hold off Coochie Coo? Shout out Viking fans.
Well, yeah. They
was
don't
it,
count.
Was it enough to hold off the Vikings? Yes. Was it enough to put us in a position to perhaps get that number 1 seed where I like our chances better if we're at Ford Field with that home field advantage? Yes. But deep down inside, you cannot have those injuries and just absorb them, especially those injuries and who they happen to, okay? When you go to a Super Bowl and you're playing the Buffalo Bills or the Kansas City Chiefs, or hell, you are playing an incredible weapon like Jayden Daniels, okay? You better be close to your best. We weren't close to our best. That is not an excuse. It is a fact. Props to Washington before any of you bitches who hear what you want to hear what you want to hear. You beat us, period, end of story.
Right out.
But I think the denial was part of our fan base for the past couple months. I really do. I believe it.
I would agree with that. I mean, the runaway defensive player of the year, right, goes down. And show goes on, and they keep winning. And they keep winning, Sean. Shaking your head, denial.
I can't even. All of it isn't real. It's not real.
It's not real. Jason Kenyon in the super chat. I'll be happy to see Aleem, DJ, Anzo, Campbell, Malcolm, Hutch, and Big Z in the front and middle, plus all the secondary next
Listen
season.
to what he just said. Can you repeat that?
Aleem McNeil.
Starting defense.
DJ Reader, Alex Anzalone, Campbell, Rodriguez, Hutch, and Zadarius Smith. By the way, we have never had Hutch and Zadarius Smith play a game together yet. Zadarius Smith is here for $11 million next year.
Yep. Looking forward to that.
It's okay. It's denial, Sean. It's denial.
I think Wedding Crashers is on again.
Chase it with a little Shawshank. Remember, hope is not a bad thing. It's maybe the best of things.
I feel like Andy Dufresne right now, crawling out of that damn sewer.
Boggs just got me in the shower. Man.
Oh, God.
I don't feel good right now. He wanted to be my friend. I didn't want him as my friend, but he ended up being my friend anyway.
Jayden Daniels as Boggs.
Yeah.
Right.
But we just don't have the severance package that Andy
No,
Dufresne had.
not at
How
all.
often do you pay attention to a man's shoes?
Never once in my life.
Man.
Like, never once have I, like, looked down at somebody's shoes. Never.
Yeah.
That's why it works.
Doesn't happen.
It doesn't work.
Doesn't happen.
Jay Cuervo in the Woodward Sports Super Chat. Neil, can we talk about how these injuries are all on defense, how Glenn is asking them to play, all these friendly fire injuries like Amik? Amik, man.
Yeah, that's tough.
Oh, that was absolutely tough as well. Boy, Dante with the big Super Chat here. Yeah, Sean, I'm sad, but at least I'm not a Dallas Cowboys or a Giants fan because they're in hell with that Commanders-Eagles matchup. And F all you says that same old SOL stuff. And I think Daniil was Hutch going down against the Cowboys. Or Denial, I'm sorry. I think Denial was Hutch going down against the Cowboys. And Dante, you absolutely diagnosed that perfectly right here. That was me. Because I just thought the show goes on. And Brad will go make a trade, and everything will get fixed, and that'll be it.
I'm not going to lie to you. When we had that segment, Neil, you know what? This is just my perspective. You can tell me if I was wrong. And I took a lot of shit from it when I said no. But I remember looking at you, and we kind of caught eyes. And honestly, I could almost see it in your eyes. You were going, oh, shit. Like, honestly, because it's so easy to get caught up in this. And that's why I say we all knew. We didn't want to know, but I think we all knew. I think we all knew that it was going to be a problem somewhere along the line, that you were going to have to take on a dynamic player like a Jayden Daniels or a Josh Allen or a Lamar Jackson.
It's the NFL playoffs.
And they were going to expose us.
Yeah, and that was my thing with it all, too, was with the people talking about playoff matchups and stuff like that. You get to a game away from the conference. You're playing a good player in this league. Like
Right.
That's just the way that it works because the good teams are the ones that left, and good teams are usually comprised of good players.
Sam Bradford didn't scare me. Oh, did I do it again?
Yeah.
Sam Darnold didn't
Bradford.
scare me, but pretty much anything other than that, yeah, we were all. Gosh damn it!
Jack Stark, I've been full anger since the empty set call on 3rd and 1, and
Trying
that's
to tell you.
yeah.
That was my moment. I told you guys, KG, you weren't here. That was my moment.
Yeah.
That was for me where I was like, oh shit, because we handed over the script that has been so successful. And Washington used it against us. From that point on, they really did.
Yeah, they did.
Zach in the Super Chat, Commanders fan. It's okay to say it was wrong. We want to hear from the guy who said it. If a Washington talking head said take a penalty to send Goff to the tent, you'd have signs in the stadium saying to take him out. And Zach, again, you can hear what you want to hear. We know what was said, my friend. Okay? We know what was said. And yes, did I say if you want to remind him of who you are, then it takes a penalty to do it. We've seen Brian Branch do that before, right?
Yep.
We've seen it happen before. It's part of it. And if
I
he's
just
got to
don't
go down,
think
it's just
you
that
knew
way.
that Washington was so soft.
No, no way.
Like, if a comment like that triggers
but-
an entire fan base, how soft is that fan base?
And Stick, like when you think about it too, they've spent a long time being irrelevant too.
19 years before a playoff win last week.
Right.
19 years.
19 years.
Their kids were graduating high school without playoff wins.
Boys to Men had just started the last time they were a relevant franchise.
Yep.
Never forget that, by the way. So they're new. There's some new money angles to the Commanders fans also.
Well, everything they do is new because they still try to hang on to the Redskins. You ain't the Redskins. That's like the Browns taking credit for what the Ravens did after they switched names and left town. You ain't the Redskins. You're the Commanders have won 2 playoff games in their entire organizational history.
That might be the greatest one-hit wonder Super Bowl champion of all time, too. Like, seriously, I was talking with some of the old folks at my senior citizens center, and no, honestly, when you think of it, like, that was the greatest one-hit wonder. Mark Rippon. Mark Rippon was unstoppable. That team was a wagon, and then it went like this. And you know what? That's all I ask for. I'm serious. Just once. I'm done. That's it.
Yeah.
I'll never bitch about this franchise again. I'm done.
Woodward Sports Chat thread, Nico G. My favorite part of the watch party is when you guys started fighting. That
Me
was
and
a pretty.
Spenny.
That was a
Yeah.
pretty elite
Say
moment.
Goff had a bad game. That was my favorite part.
But
Oh,
you-
my God.
What cracks me up the most about the chat is you call them soft, and immediately they jump in. We're not soft. We're not soft. Doing the most soft thing you can do. Like, you're literally proving me while I'm saying it, you soft.
Say it.
All right,
They know.
real quick.
They know. You ain't got to say it.
We're going to get to stage 3 of the
Nope.
7 stages
Nope.
of grief.
Hold
Are
on.
we?
Let me
Can't
pull,
wait.
Let me pull up the chart. There we go.
Yeah. Coming up next, Sean, anger.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Anger.
I can talk about that.
I'm
Anger.
still
is
mad.
coming up next.
No, I
I'm
think we have a
pissed off.
read for anger. I'm Sean Belegian for anger. Like, come on.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what?
Let's do a read for
Hold on.
happiness
Let me
first.
let me knock down these 2 super chats real quick. Keva says, talk about that awful defense coming to Detroit with that rookie quarterback. How about those 5 turnovers? Lions were raising the banner before you played the game. For a franchise of losers, you talk a lot. Hey, Keva, we ran for 200 yards on your awful rush defense.
Your rush defense is bad, man. Come on.
Let Saquon Barkley do that and see what happens to you.
Come on. It's okay. Congratulations on the win, but it's a factual statement. Your run defense is awful. Stop it.
All right, we got Kenny Power Super Chat on the other end. Where are we going?
Well, you want to feel happy? Drink some Tangerine Space Machine.
Yeah, it worked for me, man. New Holland Brewing Company. The New Holland Brewing
not
Company
enough.
celebrate their entire line. The Tangerine Space Machine, the Taller, their bourbon line is electric too, the beer barrel bourbon, all of it. New Holland Brewing Company, local Michigan company. They're doing it like nobody else is. So support a Michigan company. Have some great drinks as well, whether it's the Tangerine Space Machine, whether it's the Taller. All of it is good. And why wouldn't it be good? It's New Holland. Shout out to the New Holland people, too. They pulled up at the watch party.
They
man.
sure did.
Yeah.
And then
Brother-
they started just throwing out New Holland like confetti.
it was awesome, as a matter of fact. New Holland Brewing.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner? Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs. Like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
I'm the type of person that replays every bad decision, every bad move in my head over and over on purpose, just to let it burn and eat away at you, because that's the stuff that makes you not want to feel that anymore, is to go back for more. So we fell short. It wasn't good enough. The players are extremely disappointed. I know the fans are. I certainly am. But we will reload and we will be back.
All right, keeping it pushing here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, live from Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer, the nation's #1 EV dealer. They got some great deal going on Silverados. If you want to get into that bigger pickup space, you can do that down here. They got a very limited supply of the 2024 EV Blazers. I think George told me they have 14 left. And they're looking to make a deal on them if you want to get down here and take advantage of that. I have the Equinox EV. I love it. It's electric, literally. So it's very, very cool. I do like it. Woodward Sports chat thread. Jump into there. You want to skip the line, use the super chat. Kenny Powers in the super chat. In my opinion, a deep playoff run ended once we lost McNeil and Davis. Lions defense ranks since Thanksgiving. Points per game allowed 30th. Yards per play allowed last. Pass yards 31st. Rushing touchdowns allowed last. Opposing passer rating last as well. Yeah, I mean, Kenny, the math certainly, the math doesn't lie.
The math is mathing.
We knew, but didn't want to know. I'm convinced of it. And you know what was interesting when you heard those Dan Campbell comments? Dan Campbell could have taken a huge victory lap. He could have taken a huge victory lap. He chose not to, and I think part of the reason he chose not to is that wasn't the time nor place, nor is this something that you ever want to bring up. But I know I brought it up probably a dozen times during the course of the year. Neil, one undeniable fact, and boy, our Washington Commander friends are proving it today. People don't want to hear the truth. They don't. I'm convinced of it. That is a problem today. People will create whatever truth they want. So Neil called for the death of every Commander fan and wanted Washington in flames.
Public beheadings.
Right. Like, that's what people want today. But
they're soft.
And I know I said this to you, KG, and I said this to you, Neil. Everybody got pissed at Dan for what he said last year after we lost, but it was 1,000% true, and we're living it right now. It is not that easy to get back.
And it's not going to be easier next year by any stretch.
And you and I talked about that linear. People have it in their brains, okay? Because, like, literally, the Pistons did it one time. But people have it in this, well, if we did this, then the next step comes like this, and then the next.
There's a very linear line of thinking right now.
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Last year doesn't guarantee you anything. And that's what Dan Campbell said after the Frisco game. And I always used it in examples. Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. You tell me in 2020 neither one of these guys are going to the Super Bowl. I'm going, shut up. You don't know ball. Don't ever talk ball with me again, okay? Here we are. Both of them are still waiting to punch the ticket. You know what I mean, Neil? So nobody wanted to hear it, but I appreciate Dan Campbell's candor and honesty in situations like that because nothing is a given. No way, no how.
Daniel in the super chat, these Goff haters need to get the F out. This is the man who's taken this team and city on his shoulders and brought us something great. I stand with Goff and our OGs as we power forward. Go Lions. Jay Thomas with a response to that from Daniel on the super chat. Listen to this. No, I'm giving Goff one more year, and that should be enough of a sample size here. And I defended that dude more than most. One year with everyone healthy, I expect to win in the playoffs.
I heard it in that voice, too. That was great by you.
Was that great. Ryan Lentz also? Because Lentz is going hard on Goff, too. Like,
Jay Thomas.
What a bunch of morons.
That man won more playoff games in 7 days than your guy who also choked yesterday. Matt Stafford did in his whole career.
Or how about he won more playoff games in 7 days than the entire Lions franchise before he arrived here in Detroit. And that's what, like, they're prisoners of the moment, Neil. They forget what we were 4 years ago. They forget that now that we have Super Bowl aspirations, that's all to do with Jared Goff. He got drafted number 1 by the Rams. They were dog shit. 3 years later, guess where they're at? Super Bowl. He comes here to Detroit. We're dog shit. 3 years later, guess where we're at? NFC Championship game. Eventually, you got to notice the pattern. And if you refuse to notice the pattern, that's just you going like this.
We are still so tied down to things of the past as well. I mean, we have to remember this is a franchise that celebrated mediocrity like nobody else. We really were. We were a franchise that did that, okay? We're at a next level now. There's nothing wrong with wanting more. You should see KG over there. Like, I want to get up and give him a hug. I mean, my man is shot. Look at KG right now. Look at KG.
Up,
like, honestly.
KG's been like this since he got here at 8 a.m.
I'm fucked up, bro. No bullshit. Look at the way he's sitting right now.
At least he's wearing his Lions hat, though. That's what I'm proud about both of you, Sean and KG. Like, even though you're hurt, when you put it on this morning, did it hurt, though? Like,
yeah, a little bit.
But my greater point to that is there's nothing wrong with wanting more. I'm not gonna bitch at you for wanting more because I wanted more. I am not going to move the goalpost down the road. Everybody sitting here right now, all 4 of us, said the goal was to win the Super Bowl, and they didn't win the Super Bowl. They didn't get to the Super Bowl.
Dan Campbell just said that.
And to me, Neil, to me, I can't say, golly gee, what a good season. I know we're going to get to it, but that's part of my
No,
anger
I'll
right
never
now.
get to that.
That's part of my anger right now. I'm not going to go, golly gee, that's Jim Caldwell shit.
100%.
Look at this. It's Jim Caldwell shit. I don't want any part of that.
MS Skaggs in the Super Chat. Weren't you guys getting bent out of shape because Washington fans were doing the We Want Detroit chant? That's a 50-year-old chant. But Washington fans are soft. But MS, you didn't get to do that chant in the last 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So also, Jason Kenyon back in the Super Chat as well. Here's anger and bargaining in on. Let's trade for Crosby, grab Khalil Mack in free agency through our salary cap, away from more depth and offensive line and defensive line. Let's spend all that cap, LOL. Steve Lehman, Jack Sawyer loading. Oh, yeah, there's a national championship. Has there ever been less buzz about a national championship game?
Yeah,
it's
bad.
really weird. It's really weird, and I can't wait.
Your boy better win tonight, too. That's all I'm saying.
Do you know what I did yesterday, though? It's funny that guys are bringing that up. I did do a whole bunch of the draft simulators. I did.
Later
did
on.
You?
Mock draft season is here.
Yeah,
Did
for
you?
the first time. Well, I wasn't watching football.
We're
so
gonna do one tomorrow.
By the way,
Oh, God.
can I just
I'm
say
not.
this? Can I just say there are a lot of edges in that area. Somebody brought up Sawyer. I think there are a couple different options. One from A&M and one from Marshall. They're going to be in that area with the Lions. I want a nasty bitch edge. I
don't
do.
want to hear that shit right now.
Respectfully.
I'm Mig says, I'm just saying y'all acting real slick like you go into the Super Bowl. Go beat Philly first, then talk some ish about history. And there's now Commander, and a lot of hail to the Commanders. A lot of hail to the Commanders.
I don't remember that song.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird to hear another team use that
I
moniker
don't-
like
yeah.
hail?
Yeah, it's hail to the Redskins.
I know,
I don't
but they're not the
remember-
Redskins.
I don't remember that song.
That was two team names ago.
That was, as a matter of fact.
I liked
you remember
Washington
the logo?
football team.
WFT.
I like that shit.
What
Was
the
clean. It was clean.
Burn in the chat says, anger, Ben's play calling. Yes, he's good, but he made some dumbass calls I noticed in the last year in the Raiders game. Don't be cute, run the ball, and that's fair.
Absolutely.
We had talked. We
there
had
was
talked
a little
about that.
smartest man in the room stuff going on. That was a little
Showing
vibe.
out for Brady a little bit.
Little vibe.
Here's one from Zach. I don't know who he's talking about, though. What's Soft is a producer who couldn't admit his precious Goff had a bad game on the live stream. Soft is the Lions losing to Washington for the fourth time in the playoffs.
I think he's talking about Stick.
Yeah, he may be talking about me. I don't know. If you listen to the argument wasn't – it was what I talked about earlier. The fourth down was the biggest play of that game. 4th and 2 when you have 12 men on the field. That was the biggest play of the game.
So, I mean, man, Super Chat's coming in. Heinz86 Art with the yellow Super Chat. As a Commanders fan, I only hoped our defense could do just enough to get us through the win. I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised the Lions got away from the run a little bit. It was a good game.
I love hearing from people like you. Respect.
Intelligent fans?
Like respect.
Right. Yeah.
Like serious respect, because you weren't the only one. If I were a Washington fan, I would have been going like this, because you guys had a better look at your porous run defense than we did all year. But I
Try
wish,
that again next week. See what happens.
I wish you guys the best. We know what it's like to be through a bunch of shit. You can't compare our shit to your shit, but that doesn't make your shit any more tolerable. Seriously, best of luck to you guys.
And I just want to relive Dante's big Super Chat as well. At least I'm not a Cowboys fan or a Giants fan.
That is a fact.
So that one's out there as well. I'm always going to go back to
Twice a
that.
year, oi.
Right.
No thanks.
So yeah, that's those were the ones. Our Aaron White in the orange Super Chat. How are we soft when y'all were begging for a flag on the Louvu hit? Your fan base was a mirror of your team, cocky without proving anything. I mean, let's stop right there with that. You want some anger? Here's some anger. They were 15-2 with 23 dudes on IR. They were 15-2 with 23. And then, look, I know our division gets overrated because of the Packers and the Vikings. I understand that. I come to grips with it because it's very easy to beat them because we beat them all the time. I understand that. And you saw the Vikings in the playoffs. You saw the Packers in the playoffs. You know, so I'll wear that. And, again, it gets infinitely harder next year. But, Aaron, bro, they were 15-2, man.
Aaron,
you guys were double-digit underdogs.
Aaron, I'm gonna try to talk some logic to you, my friend. If you want to say that we haven't won a Super Bowl yet or anything, yeah, you're right. You're right. How do you take away from what they've done the last 2 years? Come on, man. Come on. Seriously. That's like if Philly knocks you off next week. That's like saying, Commanders didn't do anything, man. They didn't do anything. Why do you people talk? You made it to the NFC Championship. You knocked off Detroit in their own house. Like, shut the fuck up with dumb shit like that, man.
Yeah, so, again, jump into that chat. Teflon Don in the super chat. Coming in very, very light, by the way. Forever losers.
Neil, you're doing this all wrong. That $1.99, that's not enough money to read bad stuff. Like, no. If you want an insult that will be read on air by Neil or myself or KG or Sean, it's at least $20.
Step your game up.
Yeah, come on. Don't be a broke-ass Washington.
Don't be.
Forever losers?
Wow, we missed the break. We missed the break again.
Dagger.
We're doing it is the 7 stages of grief. We do one every segment. We're up to number 4.
Are we?
Up next, bargaining.
Bargaining.
I've made too many bargains in my life. I have no more bargains to bargain with.
All right.
This is kind of fun, isn't it? I mean,
I guess
it's kind of fun a little
guess,
bit.
man. Y'all can have this shit today.
Jason Kenyon, real quick before we cut to the break, take away the fumble and the INTs. Goff and Daniel stats were very close. Can't really say JD5 was much better, just had less mistakes. Gibbs was running late. And Chad216, yellow super chat. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't mad at the loss. I'm more mad at AG and Ben. They got their heads gassed up with the head coaching interviews lining up for them. I think they got distracted by the media. We're going to do bargaining.
We got to talk about that because KG doesn't think it's an issue.
We're going to
like,
bargain.
Are we adults or are we
We'll
not?
talk about it coming up next.
Coming back, bargaining.
We will.
But that was an elite lead-in, Chad. Thank you very much. Where are we going?
You want to do Lady Jane's? You got it because D-Mac's not here?
Yeah, sure. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, everybody. They're all over the Metro Detroit area. Open 10 to 8, 7 days per week. Walk-ins welcome anytime. You guys know the deal. You want a great cut by the talented stylist. They can give you the full treatment, too. The hot neck shave, the scalp massage as well. It's all out there for you as we make our way towards bargaining. It's a good bargain to get your hair cut at Lady Jane's as well. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
I know everybody's frustrated. You know, I know the fans are, certainly our team, coaches, everybody in the organization. So, that being said, I'm real proud of these guys. I am. I'm proud of them because I know the fight they've got in them, and I know what they're made of, and the amount of things that they did overcome speaks volumes. So, you know, as I said in the loss, everybody's got a hand in that. Everybody's got a hand, including me. And so, you know, we definitely did that together. You know, we earned that loss together. But listen, all we can do is move forward. Man, you brush yourself off. I've already gone through the loss of a family member feeling to anger yesterday to now I'm back on my feet ready to roll. And I've acknowledged, I can look in the mirror and say, you know what, you failed, man. What are you going to do about it? So that's where we're at. And,
back at it here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We are live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer, the nation's #1 EV dealer. Come down here, get you some Silverados. They got just a handful of 2024 Blazer EVs left. You can get your hands on those. They'll cut you a good deal on them. They're looking to blow out that last little bit of the Blazer inventory. By the way, can you do us a favor, too? If you're here, click the like button. And shout out to all the Commanders fans. Give the like button a click because you know you don't have anything like Woodward Sports in Washington, D.C. That's why you're still here right now. You know what you're getting here. So go ahead and click that like button for us. You want to jump the line and get your takes up there, you can do that. Use advantage of the Super Chat. I'm not just, beholden to that. If it's a good take, I'll get it out there. But again, go ahead. You can jump the line with the Super Chat. Byrne did it. Tip of the cap to the Commanders. You're not like the Vikings or the Cowboys. If we play meaningful games the next 10 years in the NFL, we'll really like that. And, oh, by the way, we'll do it again next season in Washington. As you guys know, the road schedule. What is it? Bengals, Chiefs, Ravens, Commanders, Eagles.
Sheesh.
It's brutal.
Sheesh, man.
And I forget the Rams.
Can I repeat?
That's the road schedule.
I'm almost to the point where I was at the beginning of this season. I don't care about 15-2 and number 1 seed. If we do the 10-7 and go on some crazy run to the Super Bowl, that's the only thing that matters to me. That's it. You can have all those other pretty window dressing things, man. No, it's about getting to the Super Bowl and winning, man.
Juice talks football in the Super Chat. Was this the window? Next year, new OC in DC, probably. 33 players need contracts. I thought they had 35 guys under contract. I could be wrong on that, but whatever. Yeah. Top 10 strength of schedule. Still feeling the loss, but, man, next year does not look very fun. Juice, the core's all under contract.
100%.
Hutch is up for an extension. Jamo's up for an extension. They're in that window where they can do that as well. I did get the trade Jamo while there's still value. I got some of those tweets out there. Those were cute.
And look
shut it down. Just shut the whole damn thing down.
Young guys that are there's still a ceiling. Like, look how good Jahmyr Gibbs is right now. Like, honestly, he is one of the most dynamic players in the National Football League.
He's Saquon Barkley.
I am serious
in year
when
2.
I say that.
This is year 2.
And to that point, KG, I'm convinced there's still a ceiling there. So,
and I'm convinced that the Commanders' run defense has some work to do this weekend.
This is one of those things I think sometimes people don't remember the past, and just because it happens in the past doesn't mean that it's destined to happen in the future. But I always bring up those Cowboys juggernauts from the early 90s. They won a Super Bowl, okay? They lose Dave Wanstatt. They win another Super Bowl. They lose Norv Turner. Sorry, Washington fan, to bring up a bad memory. They lose Butch Davis. They lose, but you know what? Throughout the whole process, they ended up winning 3 Super Bowls. So they lost their head coach and won another Super Bowl with Barry freaking Switzer, for goodness sake. So this is what good people come and cherry pick off of good teams, and that's what we're enduring right now.
Shad216 in the Super Chat. Lil Durk said we'd still be in the playoffs if Ben and AG and have the media gas them up. More on that in a second. Also, Jester in the Super Chat as well. Get 15-2 on that schedule and win the Super Bowl. That would exercise all the Lions. Even it's a one-outcome situation, Jester. The style doesn't matter. The how doesn't matter. And just want to remind everybody, and Commanders fans, a lot of you are here right now because you don't have a Woodward Sports in D.C. Dante, just remember, all of us here, both fan bases. Dante 151, that Super Chat. At least we're not Cowboys or Giants fans. So that unites us all. That certainly unites us all. Sean, we talked about it. 7 stages of grief, 7 segments. We are at number 4, bargaining. Stick has it out there on the screen as well. Bargaining. Can I make a bargain with everybody?
Yes.
Can we stop with the coordinators we're interviewing for job stuff?
Thank
here,
you, Neil.
Here,
Thank
I'll
you
relate
so much,
this.
dog.
I have another radio show to do today. I'm the play-by-play voice of the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, America's college basketball team that beat the Wildcats in the Kentucky Wildcats in the NCAA tournament last year. Coach Campy has a weekly radio show, like coaches in all sports do. I have to go do that tonight. And I have to apologize to everyone because I'm sitting here right now doing this show, one of the biggest shows of the year on Woodward, and I just can't stop thinking about that coach's show I have to do tonight. I can't put it out of my mind.
Neil,
last week, on Wednesday, I had a college basketball game to do for ESPN Plus. I shortchanged you all on that show. I couldn't
mailed it in.
concentrate. I mailed it in that day. I was just I was obsessed with the college basketball I had to do. I couldn't deliver.
Neil,
Sean.
that's to insinuate that you can't walk and chew gum at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm on a bargain with everybody. You can say what you want. You can be mad at who you want to be mad at. But that shit and them interviewing for jobs has no impact on what happens in that football game.
0.
None. Stick. Stop.
On.
Zero.
Come on.
Zero.
Come on.
Zero.
Here, I'll put this on me and KG.
Yeah, please
We'll
do.
get on the
Please
screen
do,
together.
Stick.
Come on. Listen, you judge by the outcome of what we witnessed, right?
Correct.
So clearly, the preparation
Look at
was
Sean's
not there to win the game. Is that you were judging by what happened? Am I wrong or right? Were they prepared to win that game?
You're right.
So you don't think an extra couple hours of film, an extra couple hours of dedication? If I'm on a team and Ben Johnson, what did he say? He returned here for one mission, right? To win a Super Bowl. Well, if my one mission is to win a Super Bowl, why am I focusing on other missions?
Because it's part of
that's
the
the question.
NFL.
Yeah.
Like,
If
you
they
have
want
no
you,
choice.
they'll wait. You have no choice. Are you kidding me? If you
don't.
are that coveted and you are the guy for the job, you're not telling me they can wait 2 weeks to talk to you? Get the hell out of here.
You know who I'm pissed off right now? At Ben Johnson's baby. That little baby shits all the time. Do you know how many diapers he had to change during the course of the week?
He could have been watching film.
That's time he could have been watching film and trying to
Right,
diagnose
like,
exactly how to stop
That
Jayden
shit is
Daniels.
killing me.
See,
Knock
okay,
it
so
off.
you don't think that when you're interviewing for a job, it's not just the 2-hour interview that you're going for, right? You're doing research on the organization. You're doing research on the hierarchy. You got to do talent evaluation of all the players that you may be coming into. You got to look at your draft picks and what you could potentially spend them on. So, yeah, okay, a 2-hour Zoom call, you're right. I can do that.
I don't
But if you're going to sit here and tell me
They
that
had-
somebody is evaluating where they're going to up their entire life,
Yeah, but you
their
don't need to know
family, and they're
everything.
only
You don't
Then
need
you
to know
don't
everything
understand- then you don't-
in a first interview. This is a initial interview. It's not even the fucking interview for the job.
Right.
They had 2
Ben
weeks
Johnson
to prep.
put out a list
They
of
had 2
demands.
weeks to
he
prep.
put out a list of demands he wanted for the organization he was going to. You don't think that list of demands was talked about?
Okay, so we're never gonna have good coordinators
I
then. If
think-
they
I didn't say that.
interview
He
and
is a
still prepare for the playoffs, then we're just never gonna be good.
All I could go by is results. If they won the game, then yeah, it was nothing burger.
I
But now
think-
that they lost the game,
I'm not
everything's a
trying to-
something burger.
I think that
I'm
there's
not trying
more.
to-
I think that there's more back channel conversation than any of us imagine. I don't think I know. I think there's more. You know what's going on. You know what the real level of interest is. I mean, whether you're the guy, whether you're the team interviewing, I think there's a lot more of that going on that we know of. I really, truly, I don't think that. I know that.
Man, Kellen Moore, the Eagles offensive coordinator, clearly distracted.
Yeah, bro.
Did they win or lose,
Had,
Dale?
had
So was,
multiple
Eric,
interviews.
so was Eric Bieniemy during the Chiefs fucking
Did
Super
they
Bowl
win
run.
or
Yeah.
lose,
So
guys?
distracted.
Right.
Did they win or lose? This is
Clearly, Kellen Moore distracted.
the difference
It's
is
like, what
you
are we
lost.
talking
he had to
about?
he had to talk to these teams. He interviewed with the Cowboys, Jaguars, and Saints.
And they
he had
won,
to do what
Neil.
you just said.
And they won,
3
Neil.
times.
And they won, Neil.
Stick, I get what you're saying because this goes back to the whole Jared Goff thing. I can't tell somebody they're wrong. Like, how do I tell you you're wrong?
You can't.
I can't tell you
The
you're
proof
wrong.
is in the results, right?
I don't agree with you.
But that's not the
but I
reason they
can't
lost.
say that you're wrong.
That's
So-
like saying anything that we say on air had an impact on them in the game. That is just not correct. I'm sorry. We
These
gotta
are the
give
coaches
we
of
gotta
the
give
actual
logical
team,
reasons
KG.
as to
Hey,
why
Stick,
they
Stick,
lost.
let me ask you this, man. So Kellen Moore's just better at his job than Ben Johnson is, right?
He may be better at multitasking.
So he's better at his job.
Or
then,
he
So
right?
Ben Johnson's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
AG is a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
Who said
Like
any of that?
that's what we're saying right now.
No, that's
you're
what
saying
you're
you
saying.
can't take an interview and also game plan 2 weeks for a football game.
What I'm
DNC
saying is,
Like,
what I'm
what?
saying is, time
What the
spent.
fuck are we talking
time
about?
spent in
I
preparation
like
is more
logical
valuable than
reasons as
scouting.
to
So
why they
scouting another team that you're not playing is valuable in that week leading up. Just tell me
2
that's valuable.
hours is not killing you, dog.
And that's why you're mistaken.
Hey, you talk
think
about
it's a phone
AG?
call.
He got a fucking Rooney Rule fucking interview, bro. They hired my man's right after that. Like, what are we
And
talking?
by the way,
like,
happy Martin Luther King Day.
like, man,
Woodward Sports chat thread, DNC ENT. Cliff Kingsbury, so distracted.
yeah, like, come on, bro. This is part of the
Is Cliff
fucking
Kingsbury a
NFL.
head coach right now? Was he already a head coach?
He was, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So
And
he's
I'm
already
sure
been
he'll
through
be
the
getting
And he
process.
was
interviewed
a
again.
coordinator interviewing for jobs.
Yeah, but he's already been through the process. Neil.
Right. So I guess he's just better than Ben Johnson is.
Yeah,
man.
just
Hey, if you guys think distractions don't matter, I don't know what to tell you.
Go blue, stick with that easy take. LOL.
Oh, God. Okay,
Yeah,
then
that's-
I am wrong.
that's a new money take.
If you ever want me to
Stick.
back off an opinion, just tell me I'm being, like, easy because
But-
I know if I'm going down that road, I look like an absolute fool who doesn't know ball. So if you ever want me to – I never stand down, do I, Neil?
No.
But
No.
tell me I'm, like, easy, and I'm
I'm
like,
out.
oh, God, I don't
Right,
want to be
and
that
I'm
dumb.
out.
I
I'm
am
out.
not that dumb.
it's no, and you know, ball. It's a new money take, though. I'm sorry to say that.
No, I just think it's a
new money
factor. I'm
take.
not saying it's everything, but when you lose a game of this magnitude, you got to look at everything step.
Has to,
every step.
See, Stick, that's where I agree with you. You're going to hear a lot of bad takes, like that one. Like we were talking about earlier with Jared, we have to get rid of Jared Goff. I can't tell you that Jared Goff's going to win a Super Bowl. I can't. I wish I could. But I don't know that for sure. But it's a bad take.
Eric Wall has a question for you in the Super Chat, Stick. He said, did Goff have interviews? He wasn't sharp either.
I think so. I think he did.
Interviewing for other teams.
Teddy Fresh with the orange Super
man.
Chat.
Him and Lamar Jackson were going on interviews all week, apparently.
Juice Talks Football. Ben went through that process last year, did he not?
Yes.
So I guess he just forgot how to do it.
And they won, did they not?
Yeah, I guess.
So was it a distraction last year? Clearly not.
I mean, they lost in the NFC
So it's only
Championship.
distraction if they lose.
That's the point of the conversation. Yes, when you
But it
lose,
wasn't last year.
when you
Don't
lose,
make
you
sense.
dissect
So
everything.
you lose because of that.
That
But
don't
you won
make
last
sense.
year. You didn't lose last year because of it, but you did this year.
Yeah.
Okay,
When
got it.
things change, you have to analyze what happened, Neil.
Got it. Okay.
It's 4 teams that he was interviewing with.
Man,
too.
that
It
sounds a
wasn't
lot.
just 2
That sounds a
hours.
lot like narrative backing, doesn't
God,
it?
I really hope that our coordinators aren't good next year. God damn.
Teddy Fresh in the orange Super Chat. Lions lost because of 4 turnovers. They had 5 technically. Ravens lost because of 3 turnovers. Despite the current disappointment, Lions' future looks bright thanks to the strong foundation they've established. Fellow Lions fans, chill out. That was in all caps.
People
Can we get
dismissing
to Zach real quick?
people dismissing turnovers was one of my least favorite bits of the weekend.
It
You
was.
can't turn the
No,
ball
you-
over, man.
absolutely
You
not.
can't do it.
Zach in the Super Chat.
Yeah.
Cliff and our DC in Washington declined interviews till the run is done. That definitely is a factor. Your coach is interviewed every day. Well, they
isn't that funny, Neil?
Well, I guess they didn't believe in their team then, right? Because they probably figured they were going on those interviews this week, right? Did they not believe?
I don't know. Maybe
did
he
they
was-
not believe?
Or maybe he was just dialed into his team and the mission at hand.
But man, he had to address that with his agent, right?
But to say
like
you're
at some
taking
point he
an
had to have the
interview-
Hey
discussion
guys,
about
I don't want
it.
to take this. We're on a Super
Yeah.
Bowl run. Talk to me
Man,
next week.
at some point he had to deal with it. That's wild. All right, let's take the break. The next stage of grief is coming up. Depression.
So
These
just
are the
hit-
toughest to get through, Sean.
We're just going to put Sean and KG up there on the mics?
Yeah, pretty much.
For 8 minutes,
Pretty
I'm going to
much,
go
man.
step out, get a sandwich.
Right,
I am
Eeyore's going to
pissed.
pop out.
We're going to play a bunch of Jewel songs in the background and want to off ourselves.
Where are we going, Stick?
You want to do the 1800?
1800 Tequila, by the way, the official tequila of the Detroit Lions, partners with Woodward Sports. And we also had a good time with the 1800 Tequila. We had it flowing.
Yeah.
We needed it flowing
Not
at the end,
enough
but we
of
had
it.
it, but not
not
enough of
enough.
it, no doubt. Very smooth, by the way, the 1800 Tequila. And look, I'm not tequila elite. I'm bourbon elite. I'm not tequila elite. 1800 Tequila is one of the few that I will drink, as a matter of fact. Because of how smooth it is. It's not giving you that, that bitter tequila face. There's a flavor to it, everybody. And that's why I rock with it. 1800 Tequila. It's the official tequila of the Detroit Lions, and we love it here at Woodward Sports as well. Proud partner with the Detroit Lions, proud partner of Woodward Sports. 1800 Tequila.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
But I think we've got guys on staff that I think are more than qualified and would be outstanding in those roles. But that does not mean that I'm not looking outside either. So I want what I believe is going to be as close to what we have been as possible. And we don't lose what we're about and our identity. And Wojo, like what you just asked, we're going to stay true to who we are. And if you're somebody that doesn't feel comfortable with that, then no, this isn't the job for you. So I'm not going to be in a hurry. I'm not in a mad dash. No matter what happens, I want to do what's right by our team. And what I believe is going to, those guys will be able to stand in front of that room and command respect and get everybody going in the same direction. And we'll ultimately deliver the same message that I'm delivering.
All right, back at it here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, live from Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer, the nation's #1 EV dealer. Management told me they got great deals on the Silverados. They got just a couple of 2024 Blazer EVs, the all-wheel drives, which you need out there, no question about it. Those are there. They can get them for a decent price. As 7 segments of Big D Energy, 7 stages of grief.
Son of a bitch.
We've reached depression, but before that, let's clean up some of the chat. Kevin, the PRF, saying different segments, but stuck on denial. No, Kevin, that was bargaining. That whole thing stemmed from bargaining, Kevin. So there you go, Kevin. Keep up. I know you don't have the equivalent of Woodward Sports there in D.C. I understand that. It's all very old school there. That's fine. Kevin, click the like button since you're here, as a matter of fact. But no, Sean, this is the one you've been wanting to duck. Luckily, we've been falling further and further behind on the clock. But depression, Sean, it comes and it goes, right?
Yeah.
And it affected you to the point where you tapped out of football yesterday, which you, Sean Belizean, I never thought that I would see that day, but here we are.
And you guys, I love Josh Allen. Like, I've never
That's your guy.
I've never hid my love for Josh Allen.
That's your godson.
As God is my witness, I didn't watch a second. Honestly. And if you want to get Mrs. Belizean on the line, you can call Mrs. Belizean right now, because she was even going, quit being a big baby, you little bitch, and all that. And
Yeah, no.
No.
Nah, wifey.
Really and truly, I just didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to deal. I was doing I'm past this though, so I know at least I'm past the bad depression. I'm not watching anymore this year.
You're back in now?
I'll watch next weekend.
Out of respect for the weekend.
For the process.
Correct.
Out of respect for the process, yeah. No, I'll watch next weekend, and honestly, I don't have anything against the Commanders, and unlike the Viking fans, I'm not gonna chirp at Washington if you lose. I think it's so. You Viking fans are the absolute worst. You are. I'm just stop. We'll get to my hate power rankings very soon.
Yes.
But no, Neil. It does suck. It sucks, and it sucks because of all the things that we were finally going to be able to say and do that have been there in our whole lifetime. And I just didn't want to watch yesterday. I didn't have any interest in watching. KG, you either? I didn't want to watch.
I started not to. Eventually, I gave in because I wanted to see the best players on the best stage. So it is what it is.
And our best players aren't on the best stage.
I know.
So thanks for making me feel
I'm
better.
I'm sorry, man. But ultimately, I love football, and this is the best time of the year to get the best football. So I couldn't duck it, but I wasn't enjoying it.
That's why I don't get the
enjoying
logic.
it at all.
Like I'm almost the exact opposite. Like I needed that day yesterday of stress-free. I'm detached from whoever wins and loses. I just want to see good football. Except maybe kind of wanted Stafford to lose.
I did too.
Yeah, I think
I'll come out and wear that. That was my angle. And as that game, I hung out with the family. We went downtown to the auto show and everything. It was fun and all that stuff. Great Detroit event, by the way.
Shout out.
And
It's really cool you saw that lion stuff on the
people mover.
Right.
Oh yeah. For the real that I
right off the deck. Like where I was at yesterday, that'd have been like, family, look, I got a pretty good insurance premium, so you guys are all going to be rich, and I would have taken a swan dive.
Remember, I did it for you.
This is it. Right.
It was funny. My wife, who is like not sports, like tapped out of sports. She's like, sports takes you away all the time, so she hates sports. But she doesn't hate it, but she just doesn't. She's not like locked in. We're driving downtown, and just the Lions billboards, Hutch, St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs was everywhere. On the people mover too. Like it was literally just everywhere. And she's like, wow, this is kind of sad.
Yeah.
So she was dealing with depression at that time.
I was telling you, my second grader, It was Lions Day on Friday. They all wore Honolulu blues. She came home with eye black on. I went to a Milford bakery. Some chick comes in, spends $150 on 30 cookies for a party that she's throwing. I mean, it's Lions everything. 1,800 Lions tequila bottle, 1,800 Bud Light cans. Like, Lions. I was telling my wife, I'm like, in my life, I never thought I'd see this.
No, never.
And now it's over.
We won't be seeing it for a
now it's
little while.
over.
There was like dumb things. I started like the Jeff Daniels song. Like that was awful. And like people talked about it like it was great because it was Jeff Daniels. Like, and it's like, I love Jeff Daniels, Michigan legend, okay?
Dumb and Dumber, shout out.
Dumb and Dumber. Both
Iconic.
things can be true.
Doesn't even have a head.
He's a legend. That song was awful. And everybody, because Jeff Daniels did it, this is the best. No more SOL. No, shut up. I don't ever hear that song again. It was awful. It was dumb things like that was just pissing me off the whole day, man. So I detached from it. I watched Michigan State win. Shout out to Coach Izzo. I watched Wedding Crashers. I watched hockey last night. My day was awful.
It was awful.
Stick. Stick.
Yeah.
You got that text I sent you?
Yeah.
Can you pull that one up?
It's up right now.
Real quick. By the way, my buddy Terminal Dennis, who
Love
by the way,
Dennis.
Shout out Dennis.
did you see that on Friday? The guys were in Vegas and we mixed them in.
Yep.
And,
That was
my
awesome.
buddy,
Yeah,
my
live
buddy,
on
my
air.
buddy won
That was
$2,000 on the roulette wheel. They went from $2,000 electricity at 9:30 in the morning. My buddy's got the Buffalo Trace going and he's pounding the bourbon and all that stuff. To this is what it is. I texted him. I said, "How you holding up?" He said, "You know that answer. It's never going to happen."
Damn.
Depression.
Damn, man.
He jumped right into depression, by the way. And so, that just goes to show you we're all handling this differently at different stops. No, there is no one size fits. Sean, remember that? Think about them. $2,000 on a roulette spin, eating at the Wynn buffet to sad Denny's breakfast, getting water.
I have listened.
Sad Denny's. God.
That sounds like a trip to Vegas,
Yeah,
too.
not even like a good banquet breakfast.
I have-
They
Right.
didn't go to the Bellagio. They had to hit Denny's.
Yeah, Denny's.
I have pounded this franchise as much as anybody in the Detroit sports media, and I say that with full sincerity, okay? I love them, but I have a job to do, and if they deserve to get pounded, then you have a march. Then you do these things, okay? The one thing where Terminal Dennis has me, I refuse, and you've heard me say this 1,000 times, I refuse to accept that this is the way it's always going to be.
Yeah.
No,
My brain,
absolutely
my
not.
brain doesn't work that way.
I agree.
When you, and we've seen this happen with franchises all over sports, the Golden State Warriors, the Detroit Red Wings, the New Jersey Devils, you bring in good people who bring in good people. I cannot accept that it's never going to happen. That's one
and
thing
we'll get there.
I can't accept that.
I think that'll be something good we'll probably do on Friday. Well, you're in Friday with me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll break that down.
Over some bourbon.
Or 100%.
Oh, yeah.
This should be a Bourbon Monday. What
Yeah,
the hell are we
Goff,
doing?
for real.
What
man.
am
I
I
need
did
that.
not think this through.
Listen, I got a bunch of rye at home. I can have wifey bring the rye over if you guys want.
Dante 151 in the orange super chat. Thank you, Stick. I'm so sick and tired of blocking idiots so I don't have to read their stupid comments. Go Lions, and I hate to do it, but Tankathon has us taking Shamar Stewart and Isaiah Bond in the first and second rounds of the draft. Dante, I respect it.
Dante, a real one.
Yeah,
Yeah, shout out.
you're as real as
Way
it
to
gets,
go,
Dante. Today's not the draft thing. Patrick in the chat. No more Malcolm Rodriguez slander. Role players matter. That's geared more towards Sam Flannel, I think. So there's that one out there as well. Jeff reviews. Ben Johnson will go to the Raiders, and we'll give him Hooker and a couple of picks for Max Crosby. Just watch. Jeff, we had Hondo on Friday.
Yeah.
There's not a word. If you're going to get Ben Johnson and give him $90 million guaranteed, are you going to chase that with trading Max Crosby?
I don't think so.
like Jeff, just
I
like
don't think so.
say it out loud and follow along.
Stranger things have happened, but I don't think so.
No. Also in the Woodward Sports Super Chat, Dan with the yellow one. Remember when DC fired a former head coach, Anthony Lynn, OC, and installed someone who had never been an OC? DC has football IQ. Let's hope for a good
Thank
OC
you.
and to be less cute in the play.
Gosh,
And can we stop
Dan.
acting like Dan Campbell's not a solid offensive play
Who
caller
was that?
himself?
Who was that?
Dan Wisco.
Okay, Dan, thank you. Like honestly, I think that's the call of the day, because you know what I think people are forgetting, and maybe even yours truly, we got some pretty smart guys calling the shots here. Do you trust Brad Holmes? Do you trust Dan Campbell? Do you trust Dan Campbell, especially when you put it into perspective, the guys that he brought in to be in his staff? Okay, cool. That's one thing I'm not worried about. Who comes in as the OC and the DC? My personal opinion, I think they're going to stay in-house for one. I think they're going to go out of the house for the other. That is not in my, honestly, That's not in my concern wheelhouse. It's not. And no disrespect to those guys. They've done a hell of a job. I have talked about the Aaron Glenn Appreciation Day for months now, okay? But, no, that's one thing I'm not worried about, Neil.
Testing. Coming up next, the 6th stage of the 7 stages of grief.
I'm still in 1 to 3. It's going to be like that.
Well, we only got a 2-hour show. We got to move along.
Until the draft.
Sticks right.
I'm not going to accept this until after the draft, maybe.
Sticks right. Stick right. It's like an elevator. Like, I think I'm going up, and then somebody sneaks on and presses the down button, and I go back down.
Bro,
and just
right.
Yeah, if you ever go through, trauma therapy, they tell you, the 7 stages are not linear. You don't start at one spot.
Football.
Football.
And just when you think, if you've ever lost someone close to you, my dad passed away 8 years ago of cancer. I still get sad out of nowhere. I'm still dealing with it.
Weird.
It's crazy how grief works.
In the super chat, real quick before we ride out, Jason Kenyon, Sean's Jeff Daniels reference triggered me. Escanaba into Moonlight, McChitty shook a shit, then being coaxed off the roof with Shine, memories, LOL. So there's that one out there. I'm not familiar with it.
But you know what I'm saying? Legend. He's done some great stuff. He's done some great stuff for our state. The song's awful. Just because Jeff Daniels did it doesn't mean we all have to go, isn't that song great?
But it worked.
It's terrible. Now it's adding to my depression.
We're working through. All right, where are we going with this break, Stick?
I have no idea.
Let me know.
Somewhere.
I'm seeing which one let's do. Let's do Caesars.
Caesars
Well,
Sportsbook,
right
the
idea,
official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. Hey, if you were smart and you use Caesars Sportsbook with the promo code Woodward1000, say you wanted to jump in and get on the train and bet on the Lions. If you signed up with Caesars Sportsbook with the promo code Woodward1000, made your first deposit, made your first bet, put it on the Lions, you got that back as a free bonus bet, all the way up to $1,000. Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports. The app is clean, doesn't glitch. If you're live better, it's beautiful, and it's Caesars, by the way, one of the OGs in the sports betting game. Scan the QR code on the screen right now. Get involved. Use the promo code Woodward1000. Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of Woodward Sports.
And Julius Caesar.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
The draft experience was shitty.
My high school dating experience was shitty.
I can tell you all 16 receivers and where they went to college.
I can tell you every girl that put me in the friend zone, every girl that shot me down, what grade it was, and what she said to me. Sarah Williams, freshman year at a house party, says, quote, I want to be single. Got a boyfriend the next day. Beth Samuel, junior year, I got benched during a football game. Afterwards, she came up to me and said, I want to date a starter. Kelsey McFarland, 10th grade, I took her to dinner, paid for dinner, and she told me I was the best guy friend
I've ever had.
Rachel Fletcher, took her to a party with my friend. She said, I like you,
but I like your friend better.
That was in 12th grade. Emily Westfall, senior year, I asked her to go to prom with me. She said, quote, sorry, I already have a date. She didn't even go to prom. Tanya Allen, Heather Talbert, Lindsay Turner, Leslie Frazier. It's okay, though, because now, here I am, working at Woodward Sports. They all got fat after high school, and the only thing I want back are my hoodies.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, my friend Sean Belizian, in for my other friend, Darren McCarty. KG Stick is here as well, live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi, because they are Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer, the nation's #1 EV dealer. If you're in the market for that Silverado pickup, this is a spot. Walk. Don't walk. Run up here to get that deal, lock in that deal here in January. A limited handful of 2024 Blazer EVs. If you've been thinking about it, now's the time to strike. They're trying to push out the last of that inventory. You know how the car business works. It's in your advantage right now. So if you want to do that, roll on up here and take advantage of that. But we're doing the 7 stages of grief. We've gone through shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression. And now it's testing, Sean. Testing. And look, one of those ways you're going to test is, you said you're going to tap back in this weekend. Conference. You and I have said this for a long, long time. We've been friends for a very, very long time. And Conference Championship Sunday is greater than Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes.
If your team's not playing.
It is the last weekend of the year where it's all about football. It is.
The whole day.
The whole day is all about football.
Multiple games.
Super Bowl Sunday, whether we want to admit it or not, is about pregame shows, is about going, hey, here comes KG from our newest sitcom. Wow, what are you doing here? It's about who's doing pregame. It's about who's doing, the halftime performance that I never watch. It is the last day that is fully dedicated to football. So because of that, I put Championship Sunday on a pedestal. I do.
Jump into the chat. Alex Thomas, is going to take a lot of healing for this wound to heal.
Trying to tell you.
No doubt. Zay Deman, probably a Commanders fan. Go cry with your head coach. Zay, do me a favor, man. Push the like button for us, because you're not getting anything like this over there in Washington, D.C. Herb Nash, Hendon Hooker is the future. He will come back to haunt us. Wheezy D, can we trade Goff for Justin Fields and Steelers picks? There it is. There it is, Stick. There it is.
You want the reaction out of you. Uh-oh. Y'all gonna get it, too.
Can you read it again, Neil?
WeezyD313 in the Woodward Sports chat. Can we trade Goff for Justin Fields and Steelers picks?
Get their ass, Stick. Get them.
KG,
Get them, Stick. Get them.
You're about to get it.
I'm trying to figure out how to handle it, because,
it's confounding.
Yeah, if they're already this dumb, what can I say?
There's nothing you can do to fix it on that one, man.
So, it's a very confusing situation. I want to try to educate this moron.
Justin Fields.
Yeah. Now, this is what people think, Sean.
They're out there.
And we'll get rid of Jared Goff. Okay, who you want? Crickets. Okay, who's going to come in and do a better job? Crickets. So Jared Goff failed, so Lamar Jackson is your guy then, right? Clearly.
Well, because we need a mobile QB.
Clearly, we need a mobile QB, and mobile QBs are the only way to win.
And he's the most mobile of them all.
The mobilist. But wait. Didn't he lose? Did he turn the ball over?
He did. Multiple times.
Man, thank God for Lamar Jackson. He made my day so much easier today. He really has. So idiots like Easy and those people, hey, what about Lamar Jackson? Well, he didn't have as many turnovers. And it's like, yeah, well, he turned the ball over.
I'm still putting that on Mark Andrews. But to your point.
You would.
To your point.
And we know why.
To your point. Oh, you know why. Oh, okay. Oh, man. This is misery.
Every time I start to feel better, like honestly, that elevator just took me from where are we at 6? I'm right back at 1 now.
Yeah,
Stage 1 again.
With Justin Fields trotting out there in the blueberry uniform.
But he's mobile.
Oh, that'd be it. You know what? Testing. I'm going to go test the ice on the lake.
Yes.
And I'm going to pound my foot to make sure I fall in. That'd be quick. Jeez.
Man.
Al Jaziri, Neil's realizing the Lions' window is closing fast.
I can't believe somebody's saying that. That is so. Boy,
no,
that
you know what though?
Dumb.
Okay, like
knock it off, dude.
Through all this, all right, testing. We're in the testing phase of it right now. So here it is, Sean. For me, while I'm crushed, obviously, it's not. I don't feel empty or depleted because of that text right there. I have said this before. I had kind of a calmness all throughout the playoff season and all throughout the regular season. And we said this remember before the season, we did this show, and I said, Sean, no matter what happens this year, I have an eerie sense of calm because the pieces that are in place with this organization will get it. I believe that in my heart, 100. Which you do too. You talked about it earlier.
100%.
And
I didn't think this year was the year. Full disclosure, I said it since year one. I didn't think this year was the year. You know, Neil, what you just said is brilliant. I mean that. There's a difference between death. When you let me give you an example. The Detroit Tigers. Okay, my kid loves baseball, so we had season tickets for years. In 2013, when they let that series go against the Red Sox, and it is one of the most gut punches of my life. Do you know what hurt so much about that? You knew it was over. Sure, they did it again in 2014. Golly gee, we're back in the playoffs, and we own the Central. But you knew damn well, especially with Brad Ausmus at the helm, there was no way in hell they were going to win a World Series. So the finality of 2013, to me, was that run from 06 to 13 and all those magical moments. I'm not going to look at it the same way because they never cashed the check.
Yep.
They never cash it. And there's one thing to mourn a death. This is not the death of the Lions. And if you're one of Al Jazeera, dude, look at this roster. Knock it off with that shit. They're not going anywhere. You best get used to that. So if this was death, that's 2014 Lions. 2014 Lions. You don't have to take my word for it.
And Ndamukong Suh.
They knew.
Yeah.
You ask them. I've talked to two different guys that said, point blank, we knew that was our window. We knew that was it. And coincidentally, look at how much that team changed over the course of just 1 year.
Stephen Baffy in the chat. People want to trade Goff are the kind of fans that deep down really need to go root for the Bears. They have this amazing QB talent. So don't be shy. Run over to the Bears, please. Alex Thomas, why not, Neil? I feel empty. Because the spine of the organization's the same.
Yep.
It's the same. Here, you want to boil it all down? And I've been as consistent with this as anyone. Because Brad Holmes is the best talent evaluator in the National Football League. He's still here, and he ain't going nowhere for a long time. That's why. That's why I don't feel like the tank is completely empty. Because this isn't the end. It feels like the end.
It sucks.
It feels like the end, no doubt. But it is not the end. As I've said before, and the clip did numbers on social media, the biggest weapon this organization has is Brad Holmes handing in a draft card to the commissioner. And that remains the same. And look, if you really want to boil it down, Sean, and this is revisionist history, I freely admit that. When you are a team that it's Super Bowl or bust, which we were, and we still are, still are Super Bowl or bust. When you are still drafting pieces that are going to come in and be the completion piece to your Super Bowl team, tell me how that's different than when that 2014 team took Eric Ebron. When you're drafting somebody, and don't believe me, Calvin Johnson told you this on this network. We have the clip out there. Go find it. Calvin Johnson looked me in the eye and said, we took Eric Ebron in the draft because we believed he was the missing piece. That was Terrion Arnold this year. We were going to plug him in. And it's a lot to ask a rookie to say, hey, complete us at the most impossible position in the game of football.
Especially when you have hoof hands.
People forget, going back to that, too. I'm sorry, I said it for 10 years. I'll continue to say it. Two other things came into play. Martin Mayhew was convinced that Ndamukong Suh was coming back. Convinced, okay? And people forget. The Lions' offense was very spurful. It really was. It was a very sputtered offense back then. Even with all the nice pieces that they had, the Reggie Bush, the Joik Bell, the Calvin Johnson, it sputtered a lot. So to that point, I think you get that tight end that stretches the field. Obviously, he wasn't the guy. But I'm with you, Neil. That was the logic. But they knew. That goes back to what we were just talking about. They knew that their window was about this wide.
Yeah, 1 year.
Knew it.
It was a 1 year window.
They knew.
Why'd you have to bring up Mayhew?
CBY in the chat. You put JD5 in Detroit, you all be undefeated and win the Super Bowl. You put Goff in DC, and we're drafting him first. We're drafting with the number 1 pick, SMH. CBY. So you tell. So the fourth or fifth best defense offense in the history of the National Football League.
Scrub. They would have been clearly number one above
Clearly
Peyton
number
Manning.
one,
Way
the best
above Peyton
ever.
Manning.
Like, guys, say this out loud. Like, I know you think it in your head, then you type it out and hit send. But, like, say it out loud before you send it. So the guy that was second in the league in yards and fourth in touchdowns last year, second in the league in yards, fourth in touchdowns this year, take that guy out and put in JD5, and they go undefeated, and they're the greatest team in the history of football.
I love that line. Say it out loud before you send it. Because, you know, and if
clearly they don't.
And if anything, when you throw in SMH, it really makes you look more moronic. Because that tells me that, like, you re-thought about it, and that's what makes you shake your head. Like, listen, that's a really dumb statement, bro. I got no other way to say that. That's a really dumb statement. But now I'm SMH.
Scuba in the chat. Gilbert Arenas is the greatest athlete Washington has ever produced.
God damn.
Can anybody answer why Washington changes their team names so much? The Bullets, Wizards, the Commanders, the football team, the Redskins. Like, what? Could you imagine growing up a Lions fan, then rooting for the Pelicans, and then all of a sudden we're the Skyscrapers, and you're like, what the hell is going on? Why?
Alex Thomas.
Detroit Skyscrapers.
See, guys, again,
it's not a bad team.
Say it out loud before you send it. Alex Thomas. Yes, I'm ready for Hendon Hooker to play. It's time.
Say it out loud, or almost like I would say to my kids when they would have temper tantrums, when you'd look at them and you go, use your words.
Right.
Sound it out. Stop. Use your words, right? That's you can't be serious.
See, as much as I love America, this is a problem with freedom of speech.
No. Don't try and backtrack on America. No.
It's 12:30. America's back now, baby.
No.
We back, KG. You ready? You ready?
You can't be. So, just for a second, you want it? What are we doing with Jared Goff? Let's just cut him.
Well, hold on.
Can we just cut him? Let's just cut him.
Bob in the chat.
And Hendon Hooker's the new quarterback.
Goff ain't mobile. JD5 is. Big difference. Is he as mobile? Is JD5 as mobile as Lamar Jackson? Who's home as well.
Okay. This isn't helping, Neil. You told me. I was told.
You promised.
I was told that I would feel better today. I don't feel better today.
Yes.
Was I lied to?
You might have been.
Maybe you were. Depending
on who you're listening to.
That's really up to the person, though. All right, we're mega late for the break. Last stage coming up next. Acceptance.
Nope.
Where are we going, Stick?
Nah.
KG just left. He's out.
I've been checked out.
I'm gonna do Soroki's, but Sean, why don't you tell us about some good wings at Soroki's? I know you don't have the live read in front of you, but you know about chicken.
I don't need them. Let me tell you something. These are the real deal. Spenny was talking these things up, and when we were out at Hayes Social, he made a point to bring these wings. These are outstanding wings, you guys. Like, this is no joke. They come in a variety of flavors. I'm a spicy garlic guy, and I'm telling you right now, Soroki's is going to take care of you. Hey, if Spenny gives it a thumbs up and I give it a thumbs up, at least give it a try. You will be glad you did. Check out Soroki's locations all over the place. There's a reason why this place is blowing up, and those signature wings are a big part of it at Soroki's.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
I think you won. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Neil Rule here for Sabbath Coffee Roasters over there on East 14 Mile Road in Clawson. Cool little spot they have, by the way. Like if you're going to do the coffee thing, like you're going out for a cup of coffee or whatever, and you haven't been there yet, slide on by there, man. They got a cool little spot, but they have all the options for you. Elite coffee, as we know. We drink it during the Lions pregame show, back when we used to do those, Sean. Remember that? That was a magical time. But no, Sabbath Coffee Roasters. They have the subscription service as well. You don't have to do anything. Couple clicks, delicious Sabbath
Sean,
coffee just shows up at your doorstep. It is that easy. It's 100,000 degrees below zero today. Brew some coffee at home, everybody. Sabbath Coffee. Take advantage of the subscription as well. Sabbath Coffee Roasters over there on East 14 Mile in Clawson.
I just go back to this. When you have the right guys and you're made the right way, failure only makes you stronger. Man, you only come back better. I believe that. And unfortunately, I've had a ton of those. But, man, I think it makes you hungry. I'll tell you the hard things is when I think when you have success on a certain level and trying to reload and do it again, that's why, I think what New England did for years and Bill Belichick and that's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. But with where we're at, we had these goals, we fell short. Man, we met 2 of those goals this year and in a sense went above and beyond what we were a year ago, but yet we didn't get any further. And, man, that's disappointing. But it also, it eats at me. That drives me, that motivates me. And I got a text from St. Brown at 4 o'clock in the morning after that game, So I know the guys it eats away at, and they're the right guys. They're our guys for a reason. And that's what will always give me hope and let me know we're only going to be better. We're going to come back stronger. We're going to learn from this, and it's just more fuel on the fire is what it is.
All right, back at it here. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neil Rule, Sean Belizian in for DMAC KG. Stick out here as well. All of you, big shout out to everybody in D.C. that's watching as well. Click that like button for us. There is no Woodward Sports style out there in D.C., so we appreciate you rolling with us. Somebody asked earlier, how was the radio appearance on the Sports Junkies earlier? It was good. They were good guys, man. We chopped it up. We had some fun. That podcast, I'm sure, is out there somewhere. In the Super Chat, you want to jump the line? We're reading them all, though. Kevin the PRF, Neil's Hopes and Dreams hinge on a blue tent. Heinz86 Arts, who is a Commanders fan, by the way. To be fair, it was the threat of FedEx taking away their sponsorship from Washington and a multitude of other issues that the Redskins changed their name. Otherwise, we'd still be the Redskins. Commanders just doesn't click with me, LOL. And Heinz, I'm with you. It just, KG said he likes it. I don't like it.
That was clean. I understand Dan Snyder was pretty much giving an FU to everybody by doing the Washington football team thing, but I thought it was clean.
No,
at the time.
I would have liked to seen diplomats.
They're petitioning to get the Redskins back.
Are they?
Now.
I hope they do.
Because one of the Indian chiefs said, no, we're cool with it.
That's what the Seminole tribe did in Florida State.
Folks that are offended. We ain't offended.
Such a proud franchise, and it was really, RFK and the Hogs and everything behind it. That was Neil. I told you, for me, my childhood was Dallas, Washington, the 4 o'clock game. That was Summerall and Madden. The Lions were the JV game at 1 o'clock, whether we want to admit it or not. And it always Dallas, Washington. That was such a lot of respect for that franchise. I mean that.
No, absolutely.
I thought they dressed like pigs because they just wanted to make their women look better.
The Hogs?
I thought that's not why they did it back in the day, Sean? Just make the fat chicks feel?
No,
okay.
Just make the fat chicks feel. No, not in the 90s.
The 80s, as it were.
Yeah, the 80s were not kind to fat women. Let's just be real.
Acceptance.
What era has?
Yeah, this era is a little more tolerable, but nah, the 80s
you just
no
forced
go.
acceptance down my
The
throat.
80s is a no-go.
You did.
Well, but Sean, we that's where we are right now. Because, hey, Dad left for the store and he ain't coming back, Sean. Like that's that's where we're at now.
Neil brought up. I had so much fun doing the pregame show with you. Whether we had done it second best or even from the Woodward studios. Like Thanksgiving was so cool for me personally. It was like we did that show. And then you're flying down Woodward, and you see Detroit, and it's not that far away. It's just a few miles away, and that's where the magic's going to happen that day and everything. And I had a blast, and it's over.
The New Holland people just had an army of tallers out there.
Just handing us tallers, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And now we're not going to be able to do that for 7.5 months, and that sucks. That really sucks, man. That sucks.
Tony in the chat. Ben Johnson's overrated. He benefits from an elite offensive roster.
Well, I'll disagree with that. And again, this is one of those both things can be true. We can absorb the loss of Ben Johnson, but there's a reason why a lot of people are calling for Ben Johnson to be their coach. And unfortunately, and I don't mean this as a shot to you, Washington Redskin fans, Norv Turner was the next big thing. And how did that work out? It doesn't necessarily mean that the next big thing is going to be a good head coach, right? He was the hot name. And there was a lot of talk, tell me if this sounds familiar, that Troy Aikman talked Norv Turner into staying for one extra year. Much like, you heard that stuff that
Ben Johnson last year.
Maybe Ben Johnson got talked into staying one extra year, and he went to Washington, and it was a debacle. It really was. So I respect Ben Johnson. I wish him well wherever he goes, and I hope you get pounded by the Lions when you play the Lions. But I think that he's a name for a reason, man.
Dante 151 in the super chat. My Lions NFC North Championship hat and long sleeve T-shirt finally came in today.
Woof.
Damn.
Hurts even more seeing it now because of how awesome it
tough.
looks.
Woof.
That is tough.
Wow.
That is tough.
Wow, it's like getting a note from your dad after he dies or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
No thanks.
That is tough, man. Joe Byrne, y'all need to start doing mocks. We are. Hey, I'm going to keep it 100 with everybody out there.
I can have that
when you're out, that's what we do.
I did so many yesterday. I'm not going to lie.
See, acceptance.
Who do you have them drafted? Come on, who you got,
listen,
Sean?
There are 2 edges that are going to be right there. And I don't believe in doing the little deal thing. When the deals pop up in the window and they offered you 10 picks because none of them are real. Like they're not real. So I stick with the Lions picks. There are a couple of edges there, one from A&M and one. All right, settle down. But I got happy for a second there. So I would love an edge there. We'll see. But there are a couple guys to keep an eye on.
Okay. We're not there. We're not there yet. Acceptance.
Please.
But, hey, we have to, though. We owe it to the game. We got to do the mock draft stuff, man. We have to. Steve Lehman, Jack Sawyer. Here we go. See what you did? Are you happy with yourself?
Jack's he's slated down a little bit lower. Now, he's got a chance to change that. He can change that. But I think Jack was slated down a little lower.
Base Maryland, your mock should be a quarterback better than Goff.
There isn't one in this draft.
Second in the league in yards,
They're
fourth
all
in touchdowns, back-to-back years.
You know it. I mean, it is one of the most undeniable truths. I'm with you. I don't like this quarterback class at all.
Nope.
And you're going to see multiple guys go in the first round. There's such a premium put on quarterbacks. It's insane.
KG, what'd I tell you?
Yeah.
And you didn't believe it.
No, I did. But I just don't acknowledge bullshit. That's all.
No, you didn't believe it.
I'm not in the market for bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm just not.
You do a show with Flannel Sam. What you talking about?
Never forget that.
Hello, Flannel, man.
Welcome back, Flannel.
Yeah.
It's
some bullshit, Sean. It is. It's some bullshit, bro. I'm not going to hold you. It's some bullshit.
You guys more hurt this year or last year?
No, this year for sure.
This is my hardest loss.
Really?
100%.
See, last year was so much harder.
Did you expect it last year?
Yeah,
though?
last year was.
Did you really expect like Super Bowl?
Once the fight started and they were in the tournament, as Dan Campbell calls it, yeah.
I
was.
True,
halftime, you're up 17 points,
but
30 minutes away.
The difference this year is there was a 1-year build into it where I think we all expected it.
Yeah.
And the one that's number 2 for me was the loss to Philly.
Yeah.
Because the Lions went on that 7-game win streak in 95. I was in the locker room every day, all the buzz culture. Oh, my gosh, this is different. And then you went into Philly and got absolutely obliterated. That was my former – this one hurt the most. It did.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
I openly admit it.
Because it wasn't supposed to be this one.
Yeah, last year was an added bonus. Our expectation last year was to win a playoff game and win a division.
Right.
Some shit we had never seen.
Right.
This year, they had literally everything that they wanted to achieve. They achieved that. And then we got to the moment, and it just wasn't.
And you
what
took
it
a
was
step
supposed to
back
be.
in the tournament. That's
Right.
what bothers me.
I was going to say, but last year you were 30 minutes away with a 17-point lead.
And I understand
that doesn't
that,
hurt
but-
you
You're
more
right,
than
you're
a
right.
game that
I'm not-
that me and Neil talked
No,
about it
but-
all year. Lions, when they were winning, they dominated all that. They never had a chance to win the game, the other team. Yeah,
But true.
okay, it was a close game, but they never possessed the ball with a chance to take
But
the lead.
this year you didn't
That
even-
was us this last game. We had a 17-point lead in the NFC Championship game.
And-
that ripped my heart out. And I know there were more Lions fans this year than
Yeah.
last year. It's clear by the bandwagon that everybody hopped on and hopped off, all the merch, what we were talking about
Yeah.
earlier. I know this year was more anticipated, but to me, last year hurt more.
Well, we didn't even get back to the NFC Championship as
Exactly.
the number 1 seed. That's why it
All
hurts
right, you want
more
acceptance
this year.
Here's acceptance. The bottom line is this. They were almost a double-digit favorite in a game
Yeah,
at
come
home
on, man.
against, the quote-unquote rookie quarterback. That's what
Easier
they
to be
were.
the hunted.
You lost
and
to
they,
an upstart.
and they didn't get it done.
You lost to
and
an
the season was a
upstart.
failure.
Yes.
It's a failure, Sean. It's in a Super
It
Bowl
is.
window. If you don't win the Super Bowl, it's a failure. You want me to say it? That's what I'm saying
I
here.
agree.
No,
Like it's
absolutely
100%, and I don't think I'll get pushback
And make
on
no
that.
mistake, I wouldn't trade this for anything. The fact that the
You wanna
Lions
see
are
my face?
No, but the fact that the Lions are so good now to where a Super Bowl is, if we don't get that, that's a wasted season. I'm cool with that. I would much rather be here than where the fuck we was.
Yeah.
But that don't make it hurt no less, bro, because you don't know how many cracks you actually get at this thing. We think we have an elongated window, and we should have one.
Dan
but
Campbell knows.
every year is not promised, man, and it just sucks that they had everything going for them this year.
Except
and,
for 23 guys on IR.
Well, true.
And people forget about that
Well, true.
last year.
That's part of the suck.
Last year, they had an incredible run of health.
Yep.
And the bill came due. Pretty much everybody was healthy last
That's
year, right?
why I'm not moving the goalpost. We
Nor
said
am
it
I.
weeks ago. I'm
No,
sorry.
you don't get to get out of that.
I'm
It's
not
Super
moving
Bowl
the
or bust.
goalpost. This was Super Bowl or bust. They
Everybody
didn't do
said it.
Failure. That's that.
The
I wanna
organization
hear it.
said it.
I wanna
It
hear
came
it.
from their mouths,
Yep.
not just the fans. It came from their mouths,
I
too.
don't want to hear
I think he didn't meet expectations, which is a little more disappointing. But to me, a loss in the divisional round is not like a loss in the NFC Championship game. Just like
I
a
hear
loss,
you.
I get your
just like a
logic.
loss in a Super
Yeah,
Bowl won't
yeah.
be as big as a loss, or it will be bigger than the loss in the NFC Championship.
I think what hurts my heart more, personally, what hurts my heart more was the year longing as opposed to the couple weeks longing.
Yeah.
Does that make
the
sense?
chat's
Yeah.
on your side. I put up a poll. Chat's
No,
80%
you're
this
not
year.
wrong.
yeah,
I'm
it's-
not saying
yeah.
you're wrong.
I get your logic, but yeah.
I'm saying there's more people that agree with you. I'm not
Yeah.
saying I'm wrong.
This
There's
is
more
what-
people
yeah.
that agree with you.
I don't think anybody's
I'm
wrong
not,
in this
this
scenario.
this was the biggest gut punch of my life. I'm not going to lie.
That's in
And
sports fan
Washington,
life,
Washington, if you want to dance on my grave, go right ahead.
They earned the right to.
This was the biggest. This was the biggest gut punch of my Lion life. It really was.
Burn in the super chat. Goff has a 4-year contract. Calm down, everyone. What I worry is Goff is our Alex Smith. Takes us to heights not seen in decades. As soon as he is out, we break through. I want Goff to get a ring here. The foundation's in place. And we'll get to that. Tomorrow I'll do the financial breakdown. And we'll put all the cards on the table, the draft picks, the cap space, all of it. Where we got to go with this break?
I'll tell you about Jars.
Yeah.
Hey, Jars Cannabis, if you're still pissed off like KG over here.
Sick.
You know what would help you? A big fat blunt from Jars.
Yeah, a couple.
A couple big fat blunts from
Yes.
Jars. That'll get you through re-up with Jars. They got that top shelf quality, unmatched variety, and it's priced for you, the people. Shop at jars.com right now or follow them on all social media, jars_life.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
You know, you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Hey, you want to get your hands on some of that merch? We got the Honolulu blueprint, a Brad Holmes design. We got the kneecaps quote. We got the roll pride. All new designs going up daily at woodwardsports.com. Football season's over, so maybe we'll have to start putting up a few Kate Cunningham shirts and stuff like that. We'll jump on the Pistons bandwagon, KG.
Yes.
Don't worry about it, but make sure you head over woodwardsports.com. Click on shop and get yourself some new merch today.
All right, final segment of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neil Rule, Sean Belizean, KG. Stick here in the building. We're live at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi. They are Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer. They are the nation's #1 EV dealer. And remember, they got a handful of 2024 Blazer EVs, the all-wheel drive models, just a handful. They're looking to move those along, make room for the new inventory. You guys know how the car business works. Come on in, cut a deal on it. You can get one. Silverado pickups as well. Big shout out to everybody here at Feldman Chevrolet. It's where I bought my car. You bought your daughter's car. I mean, there's tons of examples. Real quick, we got some baseball breaking news. Anthony Santander has agreed to a contract with the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah,
that's from John Hall.
I don't want to hear that bullshit.
I'm stunned at that.
More baseball breaking news. The Dodgers are signing offensive coordinator Ben Johnson to an 8-year, $190 million contract. 200 of the $190 million will be deferred until 2050.
Jesus.
They got like $1.5 billion in deferred money.
Jeez.
That's crazy. That is nuts.
It is insane, man, but that's where they're at. Jump into that Woodward Sports chat thread. You want to jump the line, get your final thoughts out there. Steve O'Baby, Neil, Sean, KG, and Stick, you guys are the best. I was the only one that didn't make a prediction of the game. Hey, props to you, man.
Yeah.
The away fan. What about this? He says mailbag. Might not be the same old Lions, but the result sure feels like the same old Lions.
It's not even close.
It's what follows the result.
Right.
That's the difference.
It just bothers me, though, guys, because the reality is you know it, I know it, but how the hell do I argue with somebody that says it? I can't. I have to shut up.
Yeah, and that's
because
the problem.
Eventually they're going to come back to that which Stick said, and that is, well, they lost.
Yeah, but
they were the #1 seed. It isn't. You know it. I know it. I'm not. But I can't tell somebody they're wrong.
People have literally forgotten what SOL really
Couldn't
is.
agree with you more.
Like, SOL had nothing to do with winning at all.
No.
That was us being the gutter. That was us being at the bottom. That was us being, in mediocrity for years upon years upon years. I just get sick of that, man. This organization is in a totally different place. This is not SOL. And because you have Sheila, because you have Brad, because you have Dan in place, SOL's not coming back anytime soon. Well, do we need to get over the hump? Yes, but this is far from SOL. Like,
right.
That's just me, though.
That's how you can tell the new fans
exactly.
from the old fans, right? Like me, you, Sean, you, Neil, you, KG, you understand the depths that this team crawled from to now be perennial Super Bowl conversation havers. Not saying we're in the Super Bowl, but we're in the conversation at this point. And when you go through that metamorphosis of coming up through the muck, the dirt, the grime, the dirty, the 0-16,
yeah, man.
And then you get to this point, like you understand it at a different level than the people that hopped on this year. Like, let's go Lions. Oh, Jared Goff had a bad game? Well, let's just get a new quarterback. It's like, yeah, if it was that easy, guys.
we're not that far removed, Stick, from being in a this happened. Neil, you live this. We're not that far removed from being year 7 of the Millen regime. And people telling me it was going in the right directions because the Lions finished 7-9 after starting 6-2.
Yeah, come on.
That's what people were saying,
But
though.
they forget.
Yeah, how quickly we forget.
Legion, you're a hater. You're purposely trying. Look at the roster. It was dog shit. It was below dog shit.
Yeah.
Sean, happy 90th birthday to Milt Plum.
Hey,
Look at that, spinning it. I just
Milt's a
retweeted this
legend.
on my Twitter.
Maz was there.
Milt.
Yep. Just I put that on my Twitter, so retweet that one. Just if you want to see a clip of Milt Plum spinning one into the end
So
zone against the
good.
Vikings for a touchdown. Of course it was the Vikings.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, super chat, yeah.
Yeah, Burn in the super chat. All the casino owners are buying Commanders jerseys for sure and putting JD pictures in their offices. Also, I sell cards, commie cards, bought to the moon. So, yeah, go ahead and get it in there. I did see, too, and, here it is.
Yeah.
Zay, Commanders fan. Thanks, by the way. Hey, Zay, you got to admit, y'all don't have anything like Woodward Sports in Washington, D.C. But, Zay, we don't even have weapons yet. Zay, though, calm down for a minute, because if we want to get real about it, Jayden Daniels fell to you guys. You would have taken Caleb Williams, because that's your guys' track record as a franchise. He fell to you guys. You guys got lucky. But, no, they won't talk about that. But, anyway, in the super chat, Brandon Jefferson, Washington fan
Shout
here.
out.
The way you guys own the loss is admirable. We would never see this type of acceptance from our NFC East foes. Well, through all this, we can ride off on this acceptance, Sean. As was it Dante 151 in the super chat?
Think so.
We're not Cowboys fans and we're not Giants fans.
Yep.
No, that's a fact.
Yep.
But the Cowboys in particular.
And just me personally, I have no problem with anything the Washington Commanders fans want to say. Because you came in the Ford Field, you shut us the fuck up.
Yep.
You get to the victor, go to spoils.
Yep.
Flat out.
And that's the lesson I'm trying to teach to our Viking fans.
Yeah.
Because honestly,
They were in here.
You were the most meaningless fan base to me until just the last couple weeks. The way you guys have shown yourself out, you should be embarrassed of yourselves. Yeah. You really should be. You all disappeared for 8 days, and now you're showing up to dance on our grave. The same team that put you in your grave. That would be that would be me trying to take shots at Washington fans next week because they lost.
It's called the cuck chair.
It is.
Every hotel room has.
When you're just watching,
yes,
and then you're commenting because that's what you're not in the game. You're not a part of this orgy. You're not doing any of it. You just gotta watch.
One of my biggest pet peeves as a Michigan State guy is when I would be dejected because Antoine Randall L. went for 2,000 yards against Michigan State, and one of my buddies would look at me and go, "Oh yeah, dude, it sucks, but Michigan lost."
Come on, dog.
They're out there, Sean.
What does what Michigan did or didn't do have to do with what my team did? Viking fans, you guys, you should be ashamed of yourself. This has gone beyond pinch your little cheeks. You're kind of embarrassing. Not kind of, you are embarrassing. But thanks for watching.
No, absolutely.
We continue to own your soul.
Steve-O, baby, you guys did the same thing to Minnesota. No, the difference is we beat Minnesota.
Beat them.
Right.
What?
Are you a fucking idiot?
He is, and so are all the Packers fans. My Packers fans want to dance on the grave too because of an accomplishment. Because of accomplishment of somebody else.
It's time for me to go, bro.
Time to wrap it up.
Yeah, man. They hate us here at Philly.
That was me.
Good job.
But yeah, that's the weird thing.
That was dumb.
The people that you beat, now they want to flex on you. It's like you were 0-2 against us this year.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Scuba in the chat. I just want Ohio State to lose. There's a national championship game tonight. Your thoughts, real quick, before we ride out.
Oh, we right back if that happens.
They're going to beat Notre Dame. You know it.
Yeah, they
know
are.
it, too.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. But if they don't, oh boy, I'm refreshed.
So you're in an no-lose situation. All right, I got it.
I need them to lose, man. For my sanity, I do.
Shit is
Before
killing
we get
me
out of here,
inside.
can I end on a positive note?
Yes, you can.
Can I uplift us a little bit? There
Yeah.
was a guy that came to the watch party, Steve Robertson, who was a part of the post-game
Yes,
shows.
from Arizona.
shout out, bro.
He just sent me a picture to my phone.
Yeah,
so, like,
man.
the post-game show, the first time we didn't have the phones working, so I gave out my personal phone number. Dumb idea. But a lot of people got my personal phone number. But Steve had been texting us content. He went to the Arizona game and sent us people chanting from there and stuff like that. His mom flew him up here for his Christmas gift to be at the watch party with us.
Yes.
And, like,
Yes.
to me, that is the epitome of Woodward sports right there.
100%.
A man from the chat becomes our friend, texts me on the side, and just texts me this picture saying, thank you for the hospitality. I really appreciate it. And that's what
He
it's
was
all
awesome,
about.
bro.
This is the good stuff
He literally
right there.
he greeted every WSN member that came in,
Yep.
whether they was on time, late. Like a big shout out to him, bro. He was absolutely
So,
awesome.
Steve Robertson, thank you
Yep.
so much
Shout
for
out
coming
to
up,
Steve, man.
Appreciate it.
All right, we'll be back in studio tomorrow for KG, for Stick, for Sean Belich, and I'm Neil Rule. Big thank you to everybody here at Feldman Chevrolet in Novi as well. Michigan's #1 Chevrolet dealer, the nation's #1 EV dealer as well. We'll
I got cussed out. Told you I was in a bad mood.
Well, see you later.